Hi folks, it's Peter Nowlan from New Edge Sharpening here in Halifax, Nova Scotia. And the purpose of this video is to accompany an article I just wrote about the importance of understanding pressure and manipulating pressure and getting the most out of your water stones. So, and it's nothing groundbreaking, it's nothing really new to a lot of people who already do this, but it's just something that I started doing a few years ago that's really made an improvement in my edges. And it basically comes down to ensuring that your finished product, your edge, when you're done, is nice and clean. So, and this is something I've started doing to improve that. And all it is at some point in time when we were learning how to sharpen knives, after we got the basics down of the, after we got this part down, we might have asked, and I certainly did, okay, so when do we stop doing this? When do we stop on the coarse stone and move to a different stone? And I was told at that point that, and it made sense, that when we form the burr on this side and we form the burr on both sides of the knife from heel to tip, it's time to switch to a different stone. Well, I don't do that. And many of you probably don't either. I don't switch at that point. All I do is revisit the coarse stone and resharpen the knife, and I try not to sharpen anymore. I don't want to form a burr again, but I go back with reduced pressure. So I think the best way is to explain it, besides the article I wrote, is just to demonstrate it quickly in a video here. So here we are. I've got this Nano nice and flat 400 grit stone and this very dull Shun knife. So I'm going to raise a burr on both sides. And you've already, and this is assuming that you've got the basics down, how to sharpen. So, well, this is how I sharpen. And I know many do, like this. So again, quickly here, I'm going to form a burr, and I'm using a lot of pressure here. I'm pressing down quite hard. It's me and the stone working together to form a burr, and it's starting to come there now. So, again, my elbow's up when I get to the tip here, raise it going back down to this level, and again, I'm using what I call P4 pressure, maximum level 4 pressure. Level 5 is a pressure that you'll never use. Level 5 would be the hardest you can push down. We never use that, so I've turned it down a notch. So I've raised the burr on this side, so I'm going to flip the knife and repeat the process. Raise the burr on the other side. Now this may take a little longer because this particular knife had some very bad chips in it, so I had to remove them. So it really has no edge to speak of, so I'm just reforming the edge here completely. So I'm pressing down very hard. And I just want to get this burr formed and show you what I do, and I'm sure many people do it now. Nothing groundbreaking. So, just about got the burr formed on both sides of the knife. So I can feel a nice burr there. Now, so typically now, what I would have done a few years ago was gone back and just gone like this a couple times and made sure that the burr off the coarse stone was gone. And so then I would switch to probably a 1000 grit stone. Well, I don't do that anymore. What I do is I clean the stone off, I dip the blade in water, and I go back to the same stone, but this time with 50% pressure, 50% reduced pressure. So this is, level 2.5 water stone. So I do the same process, same angle, but greatly reduced pressure. I do not want to form another burr. And all I do, I go from heel to tip, or tip to heel twice, like this. I switch it. Heel to tip. Sorry, Yeah, heel tip and tip to heel with greatly reduced pressure. So again, I dip the blade. Now I do it again. Even more. This is level 1 pressure. Very light pressure this time. And this is, I find, really does a great job in cleaning the edge for me. So now, one last time. Now it's more of a stropping motion. Trailing strokes only. The least amount of pressure you can manage. Just keep the knife stable. So you can do this part here several times. You're not going to form a burr here, even on this coarse stone. So the secret here, well, it's not a secret, and we all know this, is to make this knife as sharp as you possibly can off this coarse stone, and remove the burr completely as possible. I mean, there might be some metal fragments left at the microscopic level, but you're going to do your best by doing this with manipulating pressure. That edge is now nice and sharp. So we'll just give it a little quick test here to see how that worked out. So it's not bad. It's nice and sharp. So that's just the 400 grit stone. So now is when I would switch to my 1000 grit stone in this case. But now I will never go back to the P4 pressure again. I'll start now with a reduced pressure. Again, my goal is not to form another burr. I've already done that. You only need to do that once. Now it's all about refinement and cleaning the edge. So you can do coarse stone refinement. I believe you can anyway. That's what I was doing before on the coarse stone. So it's, again, just very minimum pressure here. And then I dip the blade. That's just something I do. Don't have to do it. I don't even know if it makes a difference. It's just a habit I've got into. I like a nice clean, the wet on wet feeling of the stone. So I know a lot of people, you know, I shouldn't say a lot. There are those who believe that you can just leave the final burr. You can just leave the burr removal until the final stone. I don't believe that. Get the most out of every stone, and don't leave the job undone. Get it off on every single stone. So again, now I'm just using trailing strokes on my 1000 grit stone, and this knife would be, it's fine to finish on this stone. Nothing wrong with that. 1000 grit stone is perfect for many, many knives. It's just about what you do with the coarse stone and this 1000 grit stone. Get the most out of your stones by doing this. So now, you look at the edge, check it out. It should be nice and sharp. It should cleanly go through that telephone book paper. Remember, this edge had, so that's it, folks. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. Now, what I would do in this case, I would strop this edge. I've got this nifty little strop that I have, and I would just drop this edge on this is 1 micron diamond paste on there. I would just very lightly strop the edge, and that would be my final touch on this knife. I've sharpened these Shum knives up to 3000 grit, but 1000's fine. So it's really beautiful knife, beautiful edge on there now. It's very nice and sharp enough.